Mayor Joseph R. Peterson and City Council. I come before you by way of this correspondence to petition the City of Wyandotte for permission for an encroachment into the vacated alley space adjoining my property at the location indicated on my return address, namely 3664 22nd. The property is my primary residence with approximately 6 months remaining on a 15-year mortgage. I have lived at my home and raised my family with my wife and 4 sons for 19 years. Specifically, the encroachment would be a 4-inch concrete slab measuring 8 feet by 10 feet as indicated on the attached application for permit and supporting pictures, and will encroach 35 inches by 8 feet into the vacated alley. I'm also requesting permission for a vinyl storage shed and lean-to to cover behind my garage. The storage shed will encroach 35 inches times 8 feet into the vacated alley. The lean-to will encroach 21 feet by 4 feet into the vacated alley. There is no concrete by the sanitary sewer as I have pea gravel down to help minimize weed growth. This encroachment involves only my property in the city's vacated alley, delegated to my property, and will not encroach into anyone else's property or vacated alley space. There are no utility poles in my yard. The closest poles are each 2 properties away north and south. I would also submit that I have signed an attached hold harmless agreement. If the Honorable Mayor and City Council accept the aforementioned as well as engineering and the Zoning Board of Appeals, I commit to making a $500 donation on behalf of the City of Wyandotte to the nonprofit Skin Cancer Foundation to give the gift of a hardwood tree and share sun protection for a lifetime per this website. Alternate plans requests in lieu of denial of above are as follows. 1. Allow overhang awning to be cut back so no encroachment, thereby preserving majority of the overhang. Allow 35 inches by 8 inches shed and shed slab encroachment, as shed and slab have been in place for 11 years with no incident or interference or impedance of access for utility workers, the second most desirable option. Next, complete demolition removal of the overhang awning. Allow 35 inches by 8 inches shed and shed slab encroachment, as shed and slab have been in place for 11 years with no incident or interference or impedance of access for utility workers. This is the third most desirable option. Next, complete demolition, removal of the overhang awning, and relocation of the existing shed with no encroachment. And that is the least desirable option. Thank you for your consideration of this matter. Larry Bohr, 3664 22nd Street.
Larry, I think, Donnie had talked about it, so I'm going to...
Did you not realize there was permits needed to be pulled?
No, I made a mistake, sir, and I'm standing here to stand up for my mistakes and to face the Honorable Mayor and the City Council and try to right my wrongs to the best of my ability with minimizing damage. And just the first time I cut my grass this year, it was a beautiful day. It was about 70 degrees. I had a tiger's cap on, and the next day I was just fried to a crisp. And I don't have any trees in my yard, and skin cancer is a worry of mine. Friends of mine have it, and so I made a bad decision, and I'm here to stand up and take the next steps and offer try to minimize the harm done and do my best to right a wrong and
Larry had called me, it's the council, so Larry had called me one day, Wednesday or Tuesday or Wednesday, and I said, the best thing to do is come to the council, get the council's, give him a chance to give a break. He's had it 11 years, and if it's something that needs to be fixed down there, then at that time he would have to do, make it workable where the people can fix whatever's wrong. He's had it there 11 years.
And I did, per the Honorable Mayor's recommendation, he said, take some pictures of your house, the inside and out, and I shared that with Deputy Clerk Maria and Johnson, and she also encouraged me to solicit my neighbors. I solicited my neighbors on the east, west, and north side of my home. They're all the adjacent neighbors, and I have a letter signed from each of them, just supporting been a good neighbor and really take pride in keeping up my house and made a mistake and try my best to minimize the damage and respect the mayor and the council.
I thought it was pretty classy that the way you handled it.
Yeah, I
Thank you,
respect
sir.
you for that.
Yeah.
Mr. City Engineer, isn't there two issues here? One is the encroachment, the other is the other permit application.
The only issue before the council is that he's built a shed, a slab, and a extension on his garage on an easement that's over a sewer and has the wires underneath overhead. The issue of a permit would follow a separate track once this issue is resolved.
Okay.
If something did go wrong, he would have to make accessibility to whoever was going to fix something. So you would have to do it at that time anyways. If something went wrong in 11 years.
Correct. My neighbor on the west side of me, Ron. I apologize. I have a letter from him, but he has and I have a photo too from the view from 23rd Street that I did not submit with my other material, but he has a double gate kind of adjacent to his property. It's not the easement. It goes from he's got a double lot behind me, and here's his house, and then a gate and a double gate in his garage, and he talked about replacing that gate and was told he had to leave that for access. That's where the city would gain access, and then there's a vinyl fence that we share, and I had a letter signed with him saying, you know, he and I will help any damage for replacement of that fence. We know that I talked with Building Inspector Claude Marcoux. He said, you know, they're going to be videoing the sewers in a few years, and they might have to do some repairs and replacements, and we understand where we sit, that things might need to be removed, and we'd be responsible for replacing. That's why I'm standing here before you, and I put together that hold harmless agreement that hopefully will show sincere respect for the process and next steps.
Anybody in the council got any questions for him? Recommendations?
No questions, Mayor. I would just do the best we can to help this gentleman out.
Yeah.
It's a resolution.
Well, the resolution prepared is to deny it, but I don't have a problem with, even though it's against the grain, it's been there 11 years to help the guy out with the stipulation that you're responsible for any and all costs, and maybe even if the property changes hands, it must be removed. I don't have a problem with that.
So otherwise you can stay like it is, and if you sell it at that time, then, you know,
Leave it alone.
you leave them alone.
I would just recommend, if you're going to do that and have those stipulations, that there be a grant of license executed that would recite that and be recorded, because you want to be sure any future purchaser is aware of those conditions.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, let's not make him jump through hoops at this point.
I would also suggest that we do TV that sewer to find out if there is any problems. It's only a 16-foot easement, very narrow, and the sewer is 14 feet deep. So I would suggest we find out if we do have a problem at this time before we grant anyone any
make it
licenses
subject
to
to
occupy the property above it.
To make it subject to the inspection, the resolution subject to.
Okay, that's fine. Can you do that, Mr.?
That's doable.
Thank you, sir, and Your Honor and Council.
So I told you, come on up and talk to the council, and something that's been 11 years, and
Thank you for coming forward.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, you're welcome, Frank. I probably you wrote something too.
I'm just here, actually, your mayor and the council. I appreciate it. This is a neighbor of mine. He does a fantastic job in his yard, and I'm here to support him. And I do a lot for Wyandotte. I'm advocate for Wyandotte, and the mayor knows that, you guys as well. So I want to say thank you. That was a great decision, and again, looking forward to always work with you guys. Thanks,
Frank.